I am a friendly ghost. Don't be afraid. My name is Father Edward McCartney Forbes, and I was rector of Christ Episcopal Church in Elizabeth City from 1844 until 1866. It's such a pleasure to be with you here this evening in this lovely chapel of St. Philip's. You know, I was born in Newburgh, North Carolina in 1810. And when I was a wee lad, just about the size that you are, how old are you? 10? Ah, exactly that year. When I was out with my father Stephen and we were plowing in one pasture, when our old cow horse Bessie, well, she reared up and kicked out at me. Tried to calm her, but she kicked out at me and the force of the blow broke my hip. Well, the hip healed, but you know, I was forever lame, and I grew very little in height from that time on. Were you ever teased and made fun of? Oh, I certainly was too. And you know what an altering effect that can have, because after my accident, I was often the brunt of jokes and rudeness from the other children. In fact, my life would probably have been very unhappy had it not been for my dear sainted mother, Fiona. Well, she not only nourished me with love and food and the written word, most especially the written word of God, but she also sold what few jewels she'd inherited to pay for my studies, which led to my priesthood. But when I arrived in Elizabeth City in 1844, oh, this was a very prosperous town. Can anyone tell me the reason for the prosperity in 1844? Oh, it was the Dismal Swamp Canal. Because you see, because of the canal, one half of all of North Carolina's commerce came directly through Elizabeth City. Oh, it was a booming place with shipyards and banks and churches and saloons, and much wealth. It was during this time of prosperity that the membership of Christ's Church decided that we'd outgrown our small little wooden structure, and so in 1856, we built the lovely church you now see across the street. And I felt a special inspiration in preaching in that church, I can tell you that. But there was one Sunday when I think I got a little too inspired, because at the height of the sermon, the center of the rose window behind me came crash into the floor. Well, it caused quite a commotion, I can tell you that. But you know, I think it was the Lord's way of saying, so a wee bit more restraint, Father Forbes. But in any event, you know, our prosperity didn't last long. Could anyone tell me the reason why, or the event that changed our town forever? War. Oh yes, the Civil War, or as we used to say sometimes, the War of Yankee aggression. By 1860, times were very tense in Elizabeth City and the whole area, and there was much talk of secession. And by 1861, of course, that horrible war had begun. But it was on the morning of February 10th, 1862, that we got word that Roanoke Island had fallen to the Union forces, and there were federal gunboats rumored to be heading to Elizabeth City. Well, those rumors turned out to be true. Fort Cobb fell, the line of ships defending our harbor was broken. Oh, there were fires set all over town, there were ships burning in the water. It was utter chaos and confusion. Well, I was very frightened, I can tell you that. But you know, there was something in my stubborn Scots nature that prevailed. After all of our hard work, I wasn't about to let the Yankees destroy our beautiful new church. So I prayed to the good Lord for help and guidance, and I put on this very cassock and surplice, and I marched myself right down to the wharfs on Water Street. Well, it was dark, and the fires were burning and casting shadows everywhere, and it was deserted, or seemed to be, until I came upon some Union soldiers coming ashore. And I don't know how I did it, but I marched myself right up to them, and I said, sirs, would you please take me to see your commander? And lo and behold, they did. And soon I was in the presence of Captain Stephen Rowe. And I pleaded with Captain Rowan to please accept the peaceful surrender of our town. All the saints be praised, it turned out that Captain Rowan was a God-fearing man and accepted my offer. So, even though Elizabeth City was occupied by Union forces until the end of the war, our buildings, and most especially our churches, were saved. Well, when I left Elizabeth City in 1866, I served several other churches before passing on to my glory in the year that this lovely chapel was built, 1893. And so, my children, I must bid you good evening. May the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand and keep you in peace.